So we'll have about 8 minutes to go through. If you want to do some of your stuff, work on your jokes or anything you're working on, Deepu, you can go work on that. You don't have to do the part that the old school jokes. So, all right.
Right.
So I'm gonna let you go up first, Deepu, since you said you wanted to go first. So on this comedic roundtable, so we'll have us go tell our jokes, and then everybody will have kind of a say in your joke telling, Deepu. So it's not like your live stand-ups where you get to suck and then everybody just cheers you on. It's weird. So all the way from Luxembourg, Deepu.
I'm sorry. No, no, no. Oh my God. I did not come in with material to like jam, so I would prefer
Okay.
going last, quite frankly.
Okay, so Chip, I know did the project, James. So we'll go with Chip, and he's gonna do Red Fox. And
Yay!
Woo!
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
so
You're a
love,
lifesaver.
love and caring and being with somebody. It involves physical hygiene. I mean, there's an importance to physical hygiene. The toughest thing in the world is when you have to turn to your lover one night and you have to say, "You got to wash your booty. You got to wash your booty." I mean, to be honest, how can you look somebody that you love in the eye and say, "I love you," when you know deep down inside you need to wash your booty? I mean, I'm not saying you have to wash your whole booty. I'm just saying you got to at least wash your booty whole. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you'd be surprised how much pollution can be found in an area that's just the size of a dime, or a quarter, or a 50-cent piece, or in the case of James, a silver dollar. I mean, that's um, let me explain this to you. You could probably go a couple days, with the armpits, maybe, but your booty, you got to do something about your booty. I mean, you can't be flipping your partner around into a 69, where their nose is like, and you think that nobody knows that you ain't washed your booty. The nose knows. The nose knows. So you got to wash that booty. Um, I'm uh, I'm I'm taken back by the fact that people think that they can get away with that. Nothing can wreck a love relationship sort of more than the smell of the booty. So I'm telling you, folks, you got to wash that booty. And for you fellas, stop wearing the white shorts, man. You can't get away with that. Wearing those pair of white shorts every day, and then on laundry day, we see those brown smudges, and you know where they are in the seat, and everybody knows. But see, your girl don't want to see that shit. Oh, excuse me, your girl don't want to see that caca, that poo poo. We're keeping this friendly. Um, I was in the army, uh, and I backed up so far in one battle that I bumped into a general, and he said, "Son, why are you running?" I said, "I'm running because I cannot fly. I'm gonna stay back here with you," and that's all I did. Thank you.
Chip, are you gonna tell some of your jokes though?
Some of the stuff that I've been working on.
Yep.
Some of the stuff that I've been working on is, the topical stuff. Everybody's woke now. They let Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben and Mrs. Butterworth off the plantation, and I'm kind of happy to see that. I mean, one of the things that I'm thrilled about is Black's got to go first on this, because usually we're the last ones in line, they usually would have started out with child labor, and Little Debbie and Wendy, they would have freed those off the packages first, and then they would let the gays go through. The Brawny Man and Mr. Clean would have finally been able to come out of the closet to find their love. So I think it's cool that the black icons got to get off the plantation first. What else is going on? What else is going on? Everybody's being woke, and for the brothers that are looking for a woke white girl, it's become really easy now. You can tell woke white girls on the street because they're all carrying poster board. So I think that's pretty cool. Everywhere I go, white girls carrying poster board. I'm down with that. Let's see, what else was I working on? I got all this Luxembourg stuff. Juneteenth. We just had Juneteenth, and everybody was on board. And a lot of states have been talking about turning Juneteenth into a holiday. In fact, the congressmen, they want to make it a national holiday. I don't know that I'm down with that. I'm really worried because if they make it a holiday, I can just see turning on the TV and hearing "Gotta lay down my burden down by the riverside." You want to lay down your burden? Come on down to Sleepy's Mattresses. We got memory foam. We'll hook you up on a Juneteenth deal. Or bring low, sweet chariot. You need a new chariot? Come on down to Coons Forge. We'll get you into a new Ford chariot. And the worst thing is, when holidays happen, Hallmark jumps on them, right? And I'm just thinking that I could see my white friends and coworkers sending me these terrible Hallmark cards. A card that says, "Hey, I'm sorry about slavery." Open it up. It was a cotton picking shame. It's like, no. We're walking into the office and there's a card on my desk that says, "Hey, it's been over 140 years since we had slaves." Open up the card. Isn't that all just watermelon under the bridge? From Debbie and the girls in HR. It's like, or maybe somebody go high tech and send one of those personalized record your own message cards, with music. Card says, "Are you still mad about slavery?" I open it up and it just screams, "Nigga, please! Nigga, please! Nigga, please!" Now I'm killing everybody at work. No, this is not going to be good. What else is going on? I've been thinking about woke white people. They're really on board now, and there's always these woke white people that want to tell me more about the black experience and black history. They're like, "Hey, man, did you know that Malcolm X was an excellent bowler?" It's like, what? Harry Tubman had narcolepsy. What are you talking about? Martin Luther King, he not only had dreams, but he also had nightmares. It's like, I can't keep up with woke white people, man. They got to be reading Black history on the side to keep up with them now. What else is going on that I've been working on? I've been working on the, at home watching TV, watching HBO's 8-part series on Chernobyl, the nuclear accident. And I don't know if you know, it's been 40 years since Chernobyl happened. And I've been thinking 40 years of radioactive explosion, and I haven't seen a single superhero yet. Anybody else? I'm starting to feel like Stan Lee lied to us. I've quit microwaving spiders and let them bite me because I don't think that's going to work out. I got to give Stan Lee props though, because he knew what was going on. Because if you look at the black superheroes, I think their number one power is bullet immunity. So even back in the 70s, black people wanted to be bulletproof. So I mean, that's how you know how long this shit has been going on. And I noticed that most of the comedians have been taking antidepressants, which I think is interesting because all of the antidepressants that they're taking, they sound like Marvel superheroes. Seraphim, Lexavor, Vestra. I think Vestra she had the power of invisibility. Isn't that what that is? So I'm like, yeah. So I guess that's what you want as a comedian. You basically want to be a superhero. You want to be able to make everybody laugh. That's what you want as your power.
Very true.
I think that's all I've been working on recently.
Awesome, kid. I just like your superhero situation, but yeah, like I had a friend that it was funny. He's from Turkey, and he always talked about Chernobyl. He's like, you know why my generation of Turkish children are smart? Chernobyl.
Really?
I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, I had to.
Hey, Jay
I
Marie.
had to Google it when he told me that. What's up?
You're a lot quieter than everybody else.
Oh man, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I mean, I can hear you. You're just quieter.
Okay, Okay. Well,
Yeah, I've been working on the Chernobyl stuff because I'm trying to figure out some other things like on the superhero side I want to do the Black Hulk because if Hulk, since they're doing colorization of superheroes now, like Captain America's now black, Spider-Man black. But I'm figuring they could never do a Black Hulk because he would always be angry and he'd always be the Hulk. So he'd never be like a regular black guy. He'd just be the Hulk the whole time. And then on the Chernobyl side, it's like I think that if they did have kids that came out of Chernobyl, they could go one of two ways. They could either be superheroes or they could just glow in the dark. They'd be easy to find. Hide and seek would never be a game in Chernobyl because everybody can see it. So it's like,
True. No, I mean his head did look weird. He said all the kids from that generation, his head looked as weird as his. But so I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, and if you had a missing child, people would just pull out a Geiger counter and just it's like.
So wait, so that skit you did was from Red Fox. So did that even age well? That was like I felt like that was like something that. Was that the skit?
Yeah, but the skit was he did a whole album called "You Gotta Wash Your Ass," so you wouldn't be able to do that on TV now. You gotta wash your ass, so that's what I mean. You gotta wash your booty.
Okay.
Instead of asshole, it's booty hole.
Right. That's crazy.
And then the case
I
of
was like, wait, what?
the case of that area being a dime or a quarter or a $50, or in the case of James being a silver dollar, that's the way Red Fox really wrote it. He wrote it about James. No, I
knew it.
I put James in there.
He's like, who's the guy with the hair? James? But no, I was like, when you were saying it, I couldn't even remember which one that was. But I didn't watch a lot of Red Fox because I was so sheltered. I mean, the first time I listened to Delirious was when I did it for this project. But his
albums were very dirty. In fact, when you would go and buy them, you had to ask. They pull them from behind the counter. They weren't out in the record store.
So it was like buying drugs?
Kind of like it, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Back when they had the race
James
records.
knows all about it.
They had the race records.
But James just raises his hand anytime you say his name. All right. So because I know Juliana did the project, James, I'm just gonna say that. We'll bring Juliana up. Juliana will do your bit that you worked on for this particular part, and then we can talk about it, and then and then you'll go straight. I'll introduce you into your actual set that you're working on. Is that good?
Okay. So that means the first one is the joke that I'm adapting, followed by the joke that I'll be doing personally. Okay, great. All right. So I'm actually doing the original version is actually Bill Hicks on advertisers and marketing. So the original text sounds like this. So I'm just doing an impression of Bill Hicks. Yeah. By the way, if anyone here is in advertising or marketing, kill yourself. It's just a little thought. I'm just trying to plant seeds. Maybe one day they will take root. I don't know. You try. You do what you can. Kill yourself. Seriously though, if you are, do. No, really. There's no rationalization for what you do and you are Satan's little helpers. Okay, kill yourself. Seriously, you're the ruiner of all things good. Seriously. Okay, so this is a Bill Hicks, but I've adapted it to social media influencers. Yeah. So, okay, it will go like this. By the way, if anyone here is a social media influencer, get a life. It's just a little thought. Stop planting your attention-seeking seeds. Because one day, when they take root, the world will be filled with needy people like you. Get a life. Seriously though, if you are, do. Just don't post it. We don't need to know that you, no action, talk only. No, really? There's so much you can do. Instead of feeding Satan's little helpers in you, kill them before they suck your soul dry. Seriously, you are the builder of all things needy. Seriously, get a life. Yeah, so that's all.
So which one is Bill Hicks? I mean, I know James probably knows him because he's an advertisement with the Army, but
You've never seen the blue
It's
collar?
It's actually
Oh,
a
that's
80s
who
legend,
he
actually.
is? Okay. No, I know who he is after he said the blue collar thing. Okay. Okay. Golly. Kill yourself. You said that now? Holy shit. People would be like, my kid killed themselves because you said to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But wow. I don't think I've ever heard that one. James, have you heard that one? Is that what they teach you at like the school and stuff to advertise the Army?
Yeah. Actually, I've heard that whole set before. It's not much funnier when he says it. The delivery is a little different.
Well, she doesn't have a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, so that makes it,
Looky, you missed out, Juliana. You should have had at least a cigarette or
Yeah, I should have
marijuana
done
joint
this.
hanging out of your mouth. Shit. So that's great. I now I'm gonna have to go look that up because I've just never heard that one. At least I don't think I have. I might have been traumatized enough not to care, but but yeah, no, I like that, especially that you adapted it to the social media influencers. I've seen some people like it's crazy because I don't know how to say this, but they're social media influencers and they're not funny. It's kind of like when Disney gets on stage sometimes, we just gotta listen because he's the host. But so, but yeah, I like it. I'm gonna listen to it though now, the actual one though. But all right, are you ready to do your actual set, Juliana?
Yeah.
I really love Juliana. So.
Yay. All right. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. I'm Juliana from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So, anyone here been to Kuala Lumpur before?
No.
Great. For those who haven't, we are just the Asian version of Germany. So I have autism. Autism happens when one part of the brain grows faster than others. For me, It's my forehead. Well, less of a forehead, more of a five head. When I was 5 years old, I have not started speaking. My mom brought me to see a doctor. The doctor said, Mrs. Heng, your daughter is like a proton car. The power window to her brain does not work. If you're wondering what a proton car is, it is Malaysia's national car that we are still learning to be proud of. It's been 30 years. The power window still doesn't work. We purposely made it that way so that Singaporeans won't claim it. Because of my power window problem, I'm a bit slow. In a room like this, when you all listen to jokes, you will laugh immediately. I will laugh a bit later. Tomorrow. For those who aren't laughing right now, don't worry. You are just like me. So, speaking about laughter, according to laughteronlineuniversity.com, there are 15 types of laughter, ranging from the softest to the loudest. As an autistic, I can only pick up 3 types of laughter. The first one goes like this. Ha 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 ha. That's the real laughter. The second one goes like this. It's the polite laughter, which means you suck. And I pity you. And the third type of laughter goes like this. It's the laughter of Singaporeans. No Singaporeans are injured in the making of this joke. People can be unkind at times. I once had a boss who told me, Juliana, you don't look autistic. And I told him, what a coincidence. You don't look like a boss. People also say, Juliana, you have autism. Does that mean that you have commitment issues and you are unable to hold down a full-time job? Commitment issues and my job issues has nothing to do with my autism. I'm just a shitty person. I was an accountant. I quit. I hated it. It's so boring. Yes, I'm an Asian autistic person who hates maths. People also said vaccine causes autism. But thanks to COVID-19, people are now demanding for a vaccine. There is a conspiracy theory that states that researchers have already found the vaccine for COVID-19. Just that they are holding it back until they can find out how this vaccine can cause autism. Since when autistic people become so in demand? By the way, I actually volunteered to be part of their pilot testing. And today, I can say I am super autistic. Thank you.
Woo! Juliana! Yay! All right. So I haven't I can't stop laughing. Okay, so I'll do my bit on the whole project of the I don't know what to say about yours, Juliana, because yours is like practiced and pretty much perfect. I feel like I'd be prejudiced if I started talking about like autistic people.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of comedians are autistic. A lot of good comedians are
Yeah.
autistic. I was trying to get some of that spectrum myself. I tried getting my vaccinations again.
Did you get that horse vaccination I heard about in America? I
That's
heard
a
that
joke. I
coming,
don't like
but I don't
needles.
know. James, if you
unless
actually want to make
unless
it,
they're
I
filled
don't
with
know if
heroin.
you do. Oh yeah, no, but this is what I worked on for this PC stuff, right? So like I said earlier, I had never ever listened to Eddie Murphy's Delirious, and yeah, it was very hard to listen to first off. So I did mine on that. So it goes like this. Hey, so pretty much he's very homophobic and racist in this bit, and a lot racist. But I only did the homophobic part, so
The stuff
because
that
it
was
would have been
near and dear
about
to your heart.
right. Well, the rapey part was, but I'm like, oh God, all I could put in there is like replace rapey with white men. I don't know. Like I was
Mhm.
really confused. And then James was gonna be on, so I was like, then he'll be like, like all white men aren't rapists, and then we'd have to hear about all lives matter. It'd be crazy. So,
All rapists matter.
so exactly. So here's how mine goes. Hey, for my show. Wait, who's this at? Whose mic is that? I
I
don't know.
think
Is
it's
that mine?
Lindsay.
Yeah,
Okay.
knock it off, Lindsay.
God, James, we can't do good things with you and Lindsay. Jesus. So all right. So here's a rendition of Eddie Murphy's Delirious in today's time. So hey guys, I got a couple rules for my mics. I don't want any homophobes to be in my audience looking at me too long, staring at me with converting eyes. I do my best not to make eye contact. Don't want them getting any confidence. They can come talk to me after the show like, hey, I'm a missionary shit. Won't be going on here. I'm afraid of homophobes. Totally petrified. I have nightmares of homophobes. There's this one where Gabrielle Union is a homophobe in disguise, right? And she approaches me out of the blue and says, hey, gay friend, you're looking real LGBTQ with your face, your hair, and your clothes you're wearing. And says, you want to get in my ride? And I'm all like, why, of course, you're LGBTQ friendly. And she gets me in and takes me to a conversion camp in Montana, a place I've never been. Before making me do things I've never done, like wear makeup, carry a perk, and have sex with a dude. That shit keeps me up at night. You know who would be a funny homophobe? Leslie Jordan. Hey guys, why y'all want to be gay? You guys don't want to be gay. Y'all know how I'm a heterosexual. Like and then all of a sudden the whole class is like, you're a heterosexual. And he's all like, yeah, guys, if you guys try hard enough, you could be a heterosexual like myself. But you can play tennis with a homophobic person. Really. Just after the game you say, I'm going to a pride parade. What about you? And then they go, I think I'm going to a conversion camp. And then I'm just be like, well, big gulps, huh? Well, see you later. Okay, so conservatives are hip. They're really hip to these homophobic people. They hang out with the homophobes. They say, hey, there's good homophobes, and they're my best friends. They just want everyone to be a man and a woman and follow the Bible so we can all go to heaven. You know what? It's really scary to me. Hate crimes. Hate crimes are scary as fuck because MFs get killed. You get killed by hate crimes. It's not like the good old days of duels, you know. You got a person that can't shooting at you, they miss, and that's the end of it. Now they just got hate crimes that kill MF. I say, what's next? Gas chambers? Oh no, wait, that already happened, but that was the set for Delirious. But yeah, it goes on forever.
Was that before or after Eddie Murphy was actually arrested for picking up a transvestite?
That was before. That was before.
Well,
ironic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was gonna say. When I heard this, I was like, I swear I've read before that Eddie Murphy was notorious for picking up transvestite hookers, and then it was true though. But this was about, I think it had to have been like 10 years before that actually happened. Well, he was caught doing it, but
yeah. It had been going on for a long time, apparently.
so no, but you know what I'll say though, that at least Eddie Murphy is like, he does go on and say he's disgusted by like what he used to say and things like that. Because dude, that whole thing was, man, it was crazy. I don't know. I couldn't listen to the whole thing because I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. So
I'll tell you, I was picturing you in red leather though, so you did a great job. So.
I did wear this red shirt. So, but yeah, I think that's how they would have to tell it today, you know, because people would go nuts if he said the stuff he said in that show.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually hard to find the transcript, but who knows? But yeah, but okay, so for our next guy, we're gonna have James the Harry, Just James.
Just
James. Just James. Actually, it should be Just James the Hair, I think, because you're always touching your hair. Like, I don't get it.
I've gone so long without hair, I decided to let it grow a little. It's nice. I didn't.
Okay.
You just introduced me, but I didn't participate. I didn't write anything. The first comedy album I ever had was an old Robin Williams one, and I was gonna try to memorize some sets from that, but I couldn't find it on YouTube to listen to it again. So I am totally unprepared. But I'd like to just tell some of my jokes that I'm working on and see if I can get laughs out of them.
Mm-hmm.
You probably
if you guys
won't
will indulge me.
I mean, you're just a white guy, so it's good.
So as an intro, I was just gonna say, can I smoke in here? I think it only works on Zoom. I want to start an all-male Joel cover band and call it Joel. Yeah, it's a thinker. I think I have to wait on that one. Let me see what I got here. My girlfriend really wants kids, and I don't. So I compromise by being as immature as possible.
Oh God.
I don't make my bed, do the dishes. That was a dumb joke. Don't laugh at that. Okay, so I was raised Christian, but I don't really believe in God. And I apologize if this is offensive to anyone, but I'm thinking about converting to Judaism, so I can tell Jew jokes.
Oh God.
I live in Northern California, and I'm going to school for theater in the fall. I graduated high school in '99, and then decided to take 20 gap years.
Oh God.
Yeah, sorry. Bear with me here. Do you guys think I have resting grumpy cat face?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not prepared. Like I said, hey, you can tell what kind of neighborhood you're in by whether or not you need a code to access the bathroom at Starbucks.
Oh, shit.
I told you my girlfriend and I are starting a band called the Attention Horse. Does that translate? Is it funny? I'm thinking about using that one. My parents never celebrated holidays. No Christmas, no Easter, no Juneteenth. We didn't even have the 4th of July. It was just July 4th for us. Seriously, they made us go to school. There were no teachers. We just sat on the curb and waited for them to pick us up at 3. Never go down on someone that doesn't own a removable shower head. My son just had a birthday, and I didn't want to just give him cash because I figured he'd just spend it on drugs. So I just bought him drugs. I hate having my picture taken. I look so much better in mirrors. That's all I got. Those are my new jokes. They're not in a set yet.
Woo! All right, so I know I've been picking on Lindsay to go, but is she actually going to go, James?
Oh, we're not going to talk about James's stuff?
No, we will, but I want to know if Lindsay's going to go or not.
Chip, just jumping straight to the criticism, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, that totally sucks, but...
yeah, but let's talk to James first. I like that idea.
James, I wish you... is this what you're going to do for Flappers? Because I think you kind of fucked it all up.
Yeah, I'm gonna piece a bunch of old shit in with some new shit and try to make people laugh.
Oh, maybe this
it's only 5 minutes.
New shit. Just make this the middle. I want you to tell more jokes about your hair at some point because I love it.
hair. No. The only thing I was going to say is a couple things. Was I like the shower head joke, but I think it should be handheld shower head instead of removable. I think we say removable, people are like trying to figure out, okay, what does that
mean?
Yeah,
I just how do you wash your taint without a removable shower head?
Well, it's actually called a handheld shower head. The idea that you take it with your hand and use it.
Okay.
And then I like the.
So wait, let me just. Go ahead, Chip.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, in your camper, does it have a handheld shower?
It does.
Because then I just assume you're not having sex with your girlfriend. I can only assume that.
No, yeah.
Most assumptions are correct.
Okay. And then the first joke about having children and you just act immature. You did 1 and 2, but you didn't do the third. So you said,
what's the third?
You need a third. You know you need to do the trilogy. So you need.
Yeah, I don't have one yet. Do you have one?
Well, I don't know. It could be something obnoxious like I pee my pants, or I mean, you need to come up with
fart jokes. I make fart jokes.
Yeah, wear diapers.
Fart jokes. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
So, because I think that could have a really good punch, because it's funny through, and then you need that big third punch.
Yeah, come up with one for me.
I already did it. I said, do your hair like it could come out literally with your haircut. And then
James,
thank you, Chip.
Hey, I don't know if you wanna. Sorry, go ahead.
James doesn't do jokes about his hair because his hair itself is a comedian, and it has its own sets. and they're usually better than James's sets, and he doesn't want to be upstaged by his hair.
Thank you, Lindsay.
I'm locking the camper doors now.
Hope you like it out there.
That's right. He's moving the camper. I just heard him start the engine. He's moving the camper.
What were you saying, Dipu?
No, just thinking about perhaps wordplay on the shower head joke. Something a bit more punchy. I don't know if it's your kind of humor, but something on the lines of if the shower head isn't going down, my head's not going down.
Yeah, I write a lot of jokes. They start out as one-liners, and sometimes they develop into something, and sometimes I just leave them there as segues. But that's hilarious. I like that.
Again,
Yeah, Lindsay,
like some
right.
people like stay away from wordplay or like puns, so it's up to you. I don't know what your style of comedy is, but just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a month. This is it. This is all the style you get. This isn't actually a camper. It's an elaborate Zoom background.
That's right.
Oh shit, that's awesome. All right, so wait, is Lindsay gonna go? Lindsay, you're gonna go, right? Because I know you write all the James jokes. So if you tell him,
I can ramble for a little bit, but I got nothing. I did not do my homework. This is just like high school all over again.
see, you and James, the white people in the class, then they'll take Chip's homework and be like, "Can I copy off of that?"
Right?
That's right. That's not white privilege. They assume they're going to pass anyhow. They don't care. They don't care.
Lindsay, if you want to go up, you can go up. We have
Okay. Yeah.
Lindsay,
Sure.
all the way from James and Lindsay's trailer in California. It's campy.
Yeah. Hey guys. Yeah. Seriously, nothing. I didn't have anything to research. I grew up and sometimes temporarily reside in an extremely whitewashed, racist household. How they birth a highly liberal, open person, I don't know. Maybe it's my rebellion. Yeah, I grew up on like Monty Python and other very whitewashed comedy. Yeah, I literally have nothing.
Oh no! All right, let's give it up for Lindsay. Let's take her off the hot seat. Take her off the hot seat.
Yeah.
Alright,
Thank
so,
you.
That was a good one.
It wasn't.
The Monty Python.
Lindsay, I've never actually watched Monty Python, even though I did grow up in a very white community, and everybody does reference that, and I just laugh because I assume it's funny.
It's not. Basically, that's my dad's idea of comedy. Anything that's absolutely not funny that's what's hilarious with him.
That's amazing. Amazing. That's
But
like my dad.
somehow Robin Hood Men in Tights was allowed. I mean, we couldn't do racism, but we could do homophobia.
Oh yeah. Oh, there you go.
See, that's always good. That's always good. All right.
So is James outside the door of the car? Was he talking to you? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yeah, he follows me everywhere like a sick puppy.
There you go.
Wait.
Well, we saw him leave the camper, so we were like, oh, okay, he's going out on their car patio.
He made Lindsay go get his Starbucks.
He volunteers.
All right, so our next guy he's really awesome. I love him because like he kind of helped me get into like doing some comedy over here and trying to be somewhat funny. He's kind of funny. He's just the host all the time, so we have to laugh. So he'll give us thoughts. But you know, but it's his name is Deepu. He's from he's not actually from Luxembourg, but he says that kind of stuff. But he's a real Indian guy, but lives in Luxembourg. Give it up for Deepu.
Hey, everybody. So this, I haven't done my homework. I haven't looked up these comedians and I don't know whatever everybody's been doing, but so this is the first time that
we're getting a loop back through your speaker and your microphone.
hang on, one moment.
I think that was from me. Like me muting should fix it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead, Deepu.
Does it sound better now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to run through a couple of premises. So I haven't done jack shit in over 3 months. I've actually been on medical leave, so this is kind of the first time I'm getting on a call. So thanks for having me on here. Some of these might seem a bit outdated because I had these ideas in my head at the start of the whole Corona thing.
Mhm.
And all right, so I'm just going to run through them and then see where I can take them. So I think the whole social distancing thing just got me feeling like a serial killer because every time I enter or exit a room, I'm wiping down surfaces, meticulously removing fingerprints from the I even get that spot under the sink, like that's how you get COVID. I never understood how straight men in prison, like they go to prison and then they hook up with other straight men. On day 3 of quarantine, I was like, I get it. I kind of understand. I'm not saying I'm gonna fuck a dude, but the neighbor's cat broke into the apartment, and things got a little sweaty. Is what I'm saying. Ellen got into a bit of trouble for saying that she feels like she is in prison during the whole lockdown. I think the phrase "lock up" is probably something that's better suited to time in prison. Lockdown feels like being grounded. It's like being a teenager all over again. Like, no more late nights, dinner every night with your family. You talk with your girlfriend on the phone. Long overdue haircuts, and you're just home. Talking on the phone with your friends is the most exciting part of the week. Blah blah. I'm still working on that. I don't know where to go with that. In Luxembourg, the social distancing rules have been relaxed a little. So now you can hang out at the park, but you have to be alone. You can't hang out with others. So I went down there, sat by myself with a mask. And it's kind of strange because previously, if a creepy guy was sitting on a bench and staring at little kids from a distance, you would call the police. But now they look at me and they say, that guy's a role model. So, there. With the restaurants and most places closed, at least here in Luxembourg, I think the supermarket or like going and getting some groceries is the most exciting part of the day. I'm not gonna lie. The supermarket is the new nightclub because you show up there and there's a huge queue that's outside, a line of people waiting to get in because the security guy at the entrance is like, sorry, we're at capacity. They just have a limited number of people who can go in because of social distancing. And I wait in line, and then I finally get to the front of the line, and the security guy says, I can't let you in. I'm like, why? What's up with that? And he's like, not dressed like that. Where's your mask? And then I go in and I buy food, I buy alcohol, I buy so much. And it's just like the nightclub because you walk in wanting to spend a certain amount of money and you walk out way more than what you intended to. And the first thing you do when you go back home is heat up a frozen pizza. So yeah, that's. I really want to get on TikTok though. I was talking to my friend. I was telling him, man, I need to get on this TikTok, go viral, and he was like, Deepu, that's not for you. That's for teenagers.
you need to be a 13-year-old girl with an oversized sweatshirt and underwear and film yourself in your bedroom. Like that's how you go viral. And I asked him, hey, but how's the content like? Is it even funny? And he said, well, it's kind of like 95% soft porn and 5% funny content, which is kind of encouraging for me because that's exactly my browser history. But I'm not gonna lie, the whole lockdown has kind of changed things completely. Everybody's talking about the new normal. The other day I ordered takeaway pizza, and the 30 minutes that it took for the pizza guy to show up at my place, I was really looking forward to some human connection, in weeks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, every time the pizza guy or a plumber dude shows up at my apartment, I feel a little faint tingle in the nether regions. Like every porn storyline that was outlandish before is now just totally relatable. Like that's that. Thanks, bro. And I don't know. This is my first time that I'm doing this whole virtual, like trying jokes out with comedians. But I'm always reminded every time I try jokes out with other comedians, I'm reminded of what my girlfriend tells me when I'm in bed with her. Because she says the exact same thing. She's like, I think there's something in there. Yeah, keep working on it. And then she's like, maybe if you came at it from a different angle, it would hit harder. So, anyways, that's I guess that's pretty much what I have. So, yeah.
Woo!
So feedback, comments, anything. I appreciate anything at this point.
I mean, you have been working on the jokes for 3 months. So.
No, I haven't.
He's not. He said he started them 3 months ago and then he didn't do anything. I think the supermarket as a new nightclub, I think is hilarious. I think that's got so much stuff,
Right.
No, that was I like the supermarket. Obviously, the last one was like my favorite one because I could imagine like you and your girlfriend like telling you you're doing sex wrong, but
right.
Whatever, that's cool. I mean,
but do they do the different ages there, the supermarket? Like here, they do like early morning. They only let people that are 65 and older in. Do they do that there?
They do that too. They have what they call the golden hour. So
right.
To 9
So I like the concept of old ladies pushing to the front, like I'm on the list. I'm on the list. I get to come in. I'm on the list.
Yeah.
So good.
No, I like this too.
The other one I missed mentioning was on the same supermarket nightclub analogy is the staff inside, they closely monitor the customers. So if I just wander off, get too close to another woman, they're like, "Hey, dude, watch it, okay? Don't get too
That's right. I don't want to have to throw you out of here, man. Come on."
Yeah, exactly, something like that. And they're all dressed like bouncers because for some reason all of the supermarket staff here in Luxembourg, they wear all black. So it's like, you're getting too close to her. Okay, she's someone else or something like that.
Yeah,
I'll work on it.
Yeah, I think that bit's got legs and it's got a lot of layers, so you can extend that out.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was good. I'm so glad I heard from you. I just thought you fell off of comedy in general. Like you were like, I already outsourced all my comedy, so I'm just gonna do this like you outsourced your IT to Dave.
Right. Did Trish leave the room? Wasn't Trish?
She was in the room. No, I don't know. She was in the room. I don't think she was gonna go though. She was just watching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But hey, Deepu, are you doing the thing on the 29th?
I might. I'm just. I've got mixed feelings about outdoor gigs. So
I feel like we all should
I'll
wear
maybe show
masks.
up with like zero expectations, expect to bomb 100%, and then just walk away. So yeah,
I mean, isn't that up down all the time?
Uptown's gonna be back from next week, most likely. So we're just waiting for clearance. But the cases are like there's like a second spike or whatever again in Luxembourg now. So it's everything's up in the air, including Corona. No pun intended. Sorry. Anyway, but yeah, but
All right.
yeah.
So so I'll close it out with some little things for next week. Or some jokes I'll do a couple jokes that I've been working on. So all right, so I'm Jay, of course, coming from Germany. So hey guys. All right. Chip's already heard these because we were just on a mic together. So DPU, have you ever had somebody that actually owed you money before? Like owed you actual like hard cash, like more than $100? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Anyway, DPU's like, I've never given anybody money in my life. So for me, I'm too soft when it comes to loaning people money because I grew up super poor. So I know what the struggle's like, right? Like once I gave my mom like $1,000 because she told me she couldn't make the mortgage payment. So I was like, oh shit. But whatever. So that's kind of like rent, but except if you live past up 360 payments, you'll actually own the house. So I gave my mom this money, and instead of paying the house mortgage, she actually got a boob job. I've accepted 20 years later that I'm never going to get that money back, and now that I own 1/3 of my mom's boobs. And maybe at one point in my life, I'll inherit the A cups, and I could start wearing a bra. I know you're all looking at my boobs now, and I'm not wearing a bra. Why, you ask? Because I never get confused for a woman when I am. I actually reaffirm people's beliefs that I might be a 12-year-old boy with a bra on. But at least with the outlaw, it's like, are those women's nipples? Or is it a 12-year-old boy with nipples? You know, so they have to look twice. But anyway, also I'm going on 8 years of marriage. It's been a long 8 years. It's like going back to primary school, right? You learn so much over time. Like, for example, with enough force, you'll own a cat and you'll be a vegan. You'll also figure out things like you two are not ride or dies. You both ask questions. Like, do we have to die? Or is this like a conversation we should have over the phone? And then when you watch shows like 60 Days In, you realize jail time will actually break up your marriage. Just because of the costs associated with commissaries and jails. So I'm really hoping like the next 4 years is like high school experience for most people. It's fast and furious, but you know, that could happen too. All kidding aside though, I love my wife. She's the only person I like going to marriage counseling with. But that's what I'm working on right now.
Yay!
Woo!
Yay.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. James, all I see is your fucking forehead. Like, what is that?
Let's see. So the only thing I would say to you, this is sort of my rule on questions. If you're doing if you're doing crowd work and you isolate on a person and ask them a question, I think that's okay. But if you're doing a set where you have something you're throwing out as a question, you need to have your answer for that question. So like when you say, hey, have you ever had somebody who's owed you money, like a lot of money? You give a beat to see if somebody in the audience is going to signify or something. If they don't, then you immediately have an answer that's like, yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? And then you go on with your set. Because as long as you let a question hang there unanswered, now you've given the power of your set over to the audience and they control that time. So for me, I never want to give them more than like a second. And then I'm going to go in with an answer and move on with my set.
Hey, I'd like to tag on to. I'm sorry, Chip. I thought you
Go
were
ahead.
done.
Yeah.
I'd like to tag on to that. Sometimes it's better if you can just avoid asking the question.
Okay.
Like, just be like, hey, I hate owing people money. You know, because when you ask a question like that, it opens you up to being heckled. It opens you up to someone shouting out something you don't expect. So I try to avoid that situation. Just throwing that out there.
Here's another example from Nate Bergatze. I'm sure everybody knows. It doesn't directly tie to the point mentioned, but he does this thing. I'm guessing it sort of evolved from maybe spontaneous crowd work. The first couple of times he tried this, and then he worked this into his act intentionally. So he talks about going to community college. And so he says, hey, I went to community college, and there's anybody else, and there's always someone in the audience who's like, ooh. And then he immediately makes fun of them. He's like, oh, valedictorian over here. And then his next line is, well, I dropped out after a year or something like that. And then he goes back to the guy, and he's like, hey man, did you finish? And the guy's like, yeah, I did complete. He's like, oh, you think you're better than me? So I'm sure I've seen him do this like 3 different like shows or clips. So it's kind of carefully planned, but it almost seems like it's spontaneous, and it's almost like he's choosing the safe questions or responses, and like elevating his act, or something like that. It makes it all seem like it's spontaneous, but it's well crafted, because you almost know 99% it's going to go down one path,
right?
The other.
Right. Well, I think we do that all the time. Even crowd work that I do, I have set. I call them trap doors. Like, if they answer this way, you're going this direction. If they answer this way, you're going this direction.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I think that's what you want to have. And I know a lot of comics that are afraid to, or try not to do any kind of questions because they're afraid of what the audience might give. My thing is that you can open up to the spontaneity, but I'm only going to give the audience a finite amount of time to fill that gap, or I'm going to take the reins back from my show and move on. So I always have an answer to a question that I throw out. Usually I have 2 or 3 answers to the question I have thrown out, and I'm going to choose one of those and move on. Because like I said, the longer you let that sit there, the longer the crowd's in control of your set and not you.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. As a punchline, I would add, like, so your comeback or your backup safety line should be a punchline.
Yeah.
As opposed to a segue. Sometimes it's like, hey, how many of you have been to, I don't know, somewhere? And then you just go on to talk about going to that place. So that's like a poor segue into a topic where you're just using a topic or a question to
right.
the audience. So use it as a punchline, so that way that the segue is seamless and you're just like going in, the laughs are steady. So.
But yeah, and all that stuff is easy because like that example, like anytime you say anything about has anybody done this or anybody been to this place, and you give them a second, if nobody answers, you're like, oh shit, you guys hated it that much and you won't even talk about it? Well, here's what happened to me. So it and some of the, like I said, some of those set answers can be used in multiple different situations. It's like, did you ever have a grandmother who never gave you money and nobody will say anything? Is oh, you hated her that much because she wouldn't give you any money? Well, let me tell you about my grandmother. It's like the same answer to a whole bunch of different questions. But the whole idea is deciding how much time you're going to give the audience to have power over your set and taking it back and moving on.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to work on, is bettering that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What did you say, Juliana?
What you can do is you can actually, like maybe when you do open mics, if let's say, you can go on questions when you're doing open mics, of course. So what you can do is when you ask a question, you can actually in the process gather responses. That means every day the audience are different, so you can actually compile their responses and actually keep an inventory of it. So and then after stage time, you can actually do some like a rebuttal. That means after their answer, what is your punchline to that? So when you do that, next time if a similar answer happen again, you actually can pull out from your inventory. That's what I did for a very old joke I did. I did about about me actually wanting to get a new mom very long time ago. I think maybe I should revive that one day. Yeah, but where I'm asking people like, do you have a daughter? You know, and they were like, yes, and I would just say, would you like to have another one? Yeah, those kind of stuff. And when they say, do you have a daughter? And she said no. And I said, would you like to have one? And normally they will say yes. And I will come up with my promises of how to be the best daughter ever. But if she say no, you know what I said? My answer is, you remind me of my own mom.
That's right.
So I actually compile the responses so that it looks very natural. But no, it's not. I have been engineering it like based on the answers I've already keep an inventory, so it looks spontaneous because I'm well prepared. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll do that more. I think I just wrote that joke the other day, so I was like, and I'm not a good joke writer. I just tell stories all the time. I'm just a good storyteller. I'm not a good joke writer. I'm terrible at it. So.
No, it's not. But see, it's one of those things that's common for people that I would say starting out in comedy, but I've seen people who've done comedy for several years. This idea of they think they're gonna create a relationship with the audience by asking them a question to begin their joke, but it's like you never know what the audience response is going to be, or if they're going to respond at all, and so you're left hanging there, waiting for a response, and then awkwardly moving on. So that's why I say you got to decide, what's the time you're going to give them, and then how are you going to get out of it. So I call them trap doors. You have several trap doors for any question you ask. So you've got a way out. Same thing when you go on a tangent from a joke, you need to have a way to get back into your set. So you devise these trap doors that let you get back to where you want to take your set.
Right. Okay. All right. Awesome. So, does anybody have anything else? Because we're gonna close out this roundtable. It was awesome. I loved it. I think this was the most involved we've actually gotten in each other's like jokes and stuff. Instead, like when Ken's on, it's just easy to pick on Ken. So. But yeah. So. This was an awesome roundtable. I hope you guys join again. We'll do it again next. I don't know. Is it better for you guys on Sunday or Saturday? Because I think it's better for me on Sundays because I have another mic that follows literally directly after this on Saturdays. So.
Both days are equally inconvenient for me.
That's right.
Okay. Hey, I'm gonna message out James and Lindsay the actual topic. We'll have 1 week.
Hey, James, can you give us a list of days which are better for you so we can avoid doing them those days?
That's funny. I don't have a real job, so I'm gonna be there no matter what.
All right, guys, this will close out this roundtable. Thank you all. I'll stop the live stream here in a second. Woo.